My name is Rita Kreslin, and I am the Executive Director for the Alliance Against Intoxicated Motorists. On behalf of all the victims of impaired, distracted, and reckless driving crashes, and all those dedicated to the issue, it is both an honor and a privilege to welcome you to Secretary White's annual Candlelight ceremony. It is no secret that the pandemic has thrusted us into uncertain and unsettling times. AAIM is committed to supporting you any virtual way possible, and hopefully in person very soon. Please do not hesitate to reach out to our office or your advocate for assistance. We are all in this together, and we are here for you. Secretary White knows and understands the tragedies caused by impaired and distracted driving. Even during this pandemic, his compassion and concern brings us together. Though we cannot physically be together, we still pay tribute to those lost or injured in this horrendous crime and celebrate their lives. Deaths and injuries caused by impaired and reckless driving crashes are not accidents, but the tragic result of willful conduct. The label of an accident obscures the fact that alcohol, substance misuse, the use of an electronic device, and other dangerous behaviors caused these tragedies. The word accident fails to recognize these actions as intentional and sometimes criminal. The label is a crash. The holiday season is often a hard time for people on many levels, and having to deal with isolation makes it that much more difficult. Please let this candlelight ceremony open your heart and your mind. Let this give you the courage to a new future as we embrace 2021. Let this be a hopeful event that will make a difference in your life. This year's program will be different, but the love and support remains the same. I would like to thank you and recognize a few of our speakers before we move on. First, our host, Illinois Secretary of State, Jesse White, Reverend John Clemens, AAIM Board President Terry Vandergriff, Jessica Zink, Director of Victim Services, and Jason Blatter, who will share his personal story. We will replace our traditional tribute of reading all the victims' names out loud during the candlelight ceremony to a respectful list in alphabetical order on the screen at the end of this program. At this time, I'd like to introduce my friend, Reverend John Clemens, who will now lead us in prayer.
Every year, we gather today at this time of the year for a beautiful celebration of light, song, witness, and love. While we can't gather together this year physically, the need for light remains. And we can gather and pray to the Lord for his light. We see light in all the police and the prosecutors who work to alleviate the darkness of impaired driving. We see light in the lawmakers and officials who try every day to curtail the disaster and tragedy of impaired use of vehicles. We see light in all the AAIM workers and advocates who do their best to bring light to the victims' families. We see light in the victims' families who don't give up and witness to the need for all of us to be aware of and alleviate the darkness of impaired use and operation of vehicles. And we see the light in the victims themselves. The victims who we honor today, bless today, and remember today. And that the victims who we will never forget. God bless us all with the light of his peace, his love, and his compassion.
Hello, my name is Terry Vandergriff, and I am the president of the Board of Directors for the Alliance Against Intoxicated Motorists, or AAIM. This candlelight ceremony has been held since the early 90s, not just for the victims, but for everyone, to remind us all of the tragedies caused by impaired and reckless driving. Although we are not able to meet in person this year, we must still remember and honor all traffic crash victims. The aftermath of fatal traffic crashes is very difficult for the victims' families to recover from. Those who are seriously injured must live with the constant reminders of the devastation caused by careless drivers. While this ceremony is not painless, we celebrate hope, lives lived, lives lost, and those whose fight remain ahead of them. The AIM community has a genuine interest in ending the deaths and injuries caused by irresponsible drivers. Nationwide, an estimated 10,500 alcohol-impaired driving deaths occur annually. Thanks to our traffic safety partners, crash numbers have dropped significantly over the past 20 years. While we have made great progress, impaired driving remains a problem. On average, one alcohol-impaired driving fatality occurs every 50 minutes, which translates to 29 deaths every day. Alcohol involvement alone is not the entire picture. Impaired driving involves both alcohol and drug impairment. Drugs, both legal and illegal, play a significant role in all motor vehicle crashes. Cannabis is the most prevalent drug consumed by impaired drivers. This fact is even more threatening when considered the risk involvement in motor vehicle crashes doubles after using cannabis. Another traffic safety concern is the use of electronic devices while driving. According to the AAA Foundation for the Traffic Safety, over 84% of drivers recognize the danger from cell phone distractions and find it unacceptable that drivers text or send emails while driving. Nevertheless, 36% of these same people admit to having read or sent a text message or email while driving in the previous month. The issue of traffic safety is one that affects every citizen of Illinois. Reckless distractions and impaired drivers can affect anyone, anywhere, anytime. The safety of our roadways and those individuals who travel upon them is of utmost importance. On behalf of the people of AIM and our board of directors, I would like to thank the Secretary White for his leadership in traffic safety and for hosting today's ceremony. This special moment of support means the world to all the dedicated advocates and victims who are fighting the good fight. We hope this ceremony gives each of you the feeling of hope during the holiday season. And now please welcome our host, Illinois Secretary of State, Jesse White.
Hi, I'm Illinois Secretary of State Jesse White. I've had the great pleasure of serving as your secretary for the past 22 years. And of course, I've been in partnership with this great organization called AIM, under the leadership of Rita Kreslin, the executive director. I want to express my deep appreciation for her commitment and for the commitment of the people who make up the board of directors and those who support this wonderful, wonderful cause. We want to make sure that when individuals get behind the wheel of an automobile, that they have not been overserved. And so with that, enjoy this wonderful day. It's a day that has been set aside where we honor the victims who have lost their lives at the hands of individuals who believe in drinking and driving. And if you're gonna get in your car and get from point A to point B, you never, ever should have alcohol in your system. So for this great organization, thank you for giving, thank you for caring, and thank you for making a difference. Thank you.
Every year, we work together to create space for victims of impaired, distracted, and reckless driving crashes to be honored. Outside of the pandemic, this event allowed victims a chance to be together, to laugh together, to tell stories about their loved ones, and to draw comfort from one another during the holiday season. This year, many of us are facing isolation, uncertainty, and fear. Under these circumstances, the grief that always exists for victims is compounded by the state our world is in. AIM has always prided itself on being a family. As we have served victims and connected with individuals in the community, our family has grown. What we won't allow this pandemic to do is take away our sense of community. If you're watching this, you are not alone. The staff, volunteers, and board members here at AIM love and care for you. Let's embrace the small gestures this season, a simple phone call or a handwritten note or card. Together, let's commit to continuing to encourage and share with one another, even if it's only from afar. Our candlelight ceremony has always been a time of reflection during a hard season and has offered a sense of hope that even in tragedy, we can move forward together, one small step at a time.
My name is Cindy Huerta. I have been an AIM advocate for 5 years. Knowing that I make a difference in someone's life and help someone through a horrific time in their life is the best feeling in the world. I did not start as a victim advocate. In 2007, my sister became one of 1,000 of victims injured by an impaired driver. The crash left her paralyzed from the waist down at the age of 18. Shortly after the crash, I started working with AIM to tell others what happened to my sister and her family. When someone is injured or killed in a crash, the ripple effect is something families have to live with every day. I'd like to introduce you to one of the crash victims I have been working with since 2019, Jason Blatter. Jason is an amazing man with the strength and resilience that anyone will admire. He is brave and has a very kind heart. Please welcome Jason Blatter.
In the fall of 2018, my girlfriend Meg and I had just moved into our first place together. We were enjoying life. I was an avid bowler, played softball, and golfed. We hung out with friends and had plans every weekend. On Saturday, February 2nd, 2019, I was at a friend's house helping him with some home projects. I left my friend's house at about 10:50 p.m., and while traveling down Route 30, a drunk driver struck me. I do not have any memory of the next month and a half. The following has been information that has been told to me from my family, friends, and the first responders. The 3 EMTs and 2 firefighters arrived on scene and immediately started life-saving measures. I was told I was awake, but they needed to sedate me because I was combative. They used the jaws of life to get me out of the car in about 11 minutes, and then they got me to the hospital in under 25 minutes. As soon as I got to the hospital, that was when Dr. Peter and Dr. Herzanski worked their magic. Dr. Peter took my spleen out, and all while simultaneously, Dr. Herzanski removed a piece of my skull on the left side to let my brain release the swelling from the severe injuries. I suffered a traumatic brain injury, which required a craniotomy, later a cranioplasty, a splenectomy, 3 cracked ribs. My left knee later required a replacement of my PCL, meniscus roots, cartilage, and ACL repair. I have a left orbital fracture and sinus injuries. I lost vision in my left eye and peripheral vision in my right. I lost my sense of smell, and sometimes my food tastes a little gritty. I was in the ICU for 2 weeks, and like I said, I don't remember anything that happened, but boy, was I stubborn. I have been told so many stories from the 24-hour nurse that had to watch over me, the first words I spoke, the first time I walked again, and how much food I did not eat. Some of my first memories began at inpatient at Shirley Ryan Ability Labs. I was an inpatient for 4 weeks, and I remember about the second week on. I remember the speech, occupational, and physical therapy. I went bowling for physical therapy, and I was in charge of getting us to the bowling alley and having to pay for bowling. I bowled a 133. I remember my thoughts of wanting to get back to work. After the inpatient segment, I started the outpatient classes. I may not remember much, but I remember how much I hated my helmet and how much I tried to plot around not having to wear it. Since I did not have part of my skull from February until May, I had to wear a helmet to help protect my head whenever I was up and moving around. As you can imagine, I was extremely stubborn and hated having to wear that thing, and the thought that I was stronger than the helmet, but in retrospect, I am very thankful that I did not have any accidents and cause more damage. I finally went home in the middle of March, where then I attended outpatient physical therapy for 4 months back at Shirley Ryan. I went full-time Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Before my first class, I remember thinking to myself that I don't need to go to outpatient therapy, cue my stubbornness, but let me tell you, I was very, very wrong. I did many different tasks that helped me with all 3 functions. For physical therapy, I swam, I rode the stationary bike, and I did different exercises to help my knee. For occupational therapy, I played some memory games. I also worked on a lot on my left eye and how to manage everyday tasks with my setback. I made so many strides in the 4 months, but speech therapy was the most impactful while I was in outpatient therapy. I now want to talk to you about things that I have lost or am frustrated with. I am wearing the eye patch over my left eye because I have double vision in my good eye when I don't wear it, and I can only see a sliver of light out of the damaged eye. I lost all of my peripheral vision in both my eyes. I am not able to drive due to the loss of vision, but I'm hoping that one day that might change. In May of 2019, I had the left side of my skull replaced with 50 screws and plates. In June of 2019, I was able to meet and thank the first responders who saved my life. During this visit, I was able to crush my helmet, which was such a pivotal moment for me as it was another chapter in my recovery. I started working on July 15th, 2019. My return was not without challenges, especially learning to type on the computer again with partial vision in my one eye. I had some trouble talking to clients and making the easy things easy again. I'm still struggling with some cognitive word finding and some words that I know they are, I just can't think of them. This can be frustrating, but my family and friends have been very understanding and always willing to assist in helping me find those words. My family has been attending court since the crash happened. That is how we met Cindy Huerta. Cindy is a victim advocate with AAIM, and she has been a huge supporter during my recovery. She sits with my family and is available on my phone or email anytime we had questions, concerns. AAIM has helped me financially by helping me with my medical bills, and they also provided me with an Uber gift card to help me get from home to physical therapy since I am unable to drive. I do want to thank all of the people that have helped me recover. I do want to thank AAIM and my family for being there for me. Thank you all for listening.
What brings us all together is sad, but there is one positive, and it is all of you. People who genuinely care and are concerned about the loss of innocent lives and the consequences of irresponsible driving. As we end tonight's ceremony, our candle is lit. Please stay with us as we honor and remember our families in name and in song. And before we go, may God bless our medical personnel, first responders, our law enforcement, military, our nation's leaders, and of course, all of you.
When troubles come and my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than